Let's look ahead in depth. Get ready to hear a lot about the super committee. You know now what I'm talking about here. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, House Speaker John Boehner, and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. All of them each get to pick 3 lawmakers. So 3 times 4, you have 12 people to try to reach this agreement to cut the national debt by $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years. This is all part of the debt reduction agreement that the president just signed off on. Now, not that anyone asked him, but we are reading today that Senator Bill Nelson, the Oklahoma Democrat, has taken himself out of the running, so he will not be serving. But just this past Monday, perhaps you were watching, I asked Mike Crapo, member of the Senate Gang of 6, whether he would have any interest in sitting on this super committee. Here's what he told me.
I've wondered myself. I honestly don't know the answer to that question as to whether I would really love the opportunity or not to serve on this committee.
So he wasn't so sure. Joining me now from Washington, political blogger, friend of the show, Craig Crawford. Craig, good to see you. Look, you know, a lot of money at stake here, a cool trillion or so, trillion and some change. I have a hard time believing that they won't find a dozen members of Congress wanting to fill this committee, correct?
Well, one advantage is they'll get a lot of contributions from lobbyists who will be working them to their advantage. But seriously, I think a lot of people are not lining up for it. I mean, who wants to do this on their summer vacation, right, for one thing? And it's going to be a thankless task. I mean, probably whatever they come up with, nobody's going to like, even if they vote for it.
Well, let's talk about what they could come up with, or I guess how. Let's talk strategy, Craig Crawford. So if you're one of these people in charge, as we just mentioned, these 4 men and women in charge of picking this super committee, who do you name? Do you name the 3 biggest hardheads they know, or do you know folks who like the word compromise?
Yeah, I've been around here for 25 years. I've seen a lot of these committees and commissions, and very often what happens, the leaders pick people to put on the committees who aren't going to get anything done. I've seen that happen, where they don't actually want the committee to do anything, so they put people on there design, and usually that's by putting very partisan people on there. In this case, for Republicans, people who aren't going to agree to any tax increases of any kind, and Democrats appointing people who aren't going to agree to any entitlement reforms of any kind. If that happens, the committee might not get anything done, and that's a real possibility, that they don't do anything. And the triggers and the automatic cuts, and the automatic cuts that would be triggered are not as real as they look. They wouldn't start until after the next election and would be spread out over 8 years. And entitlement like Medicare and Social Security benefits are exempt in those automatic triggers. So in other words, even if the committee fails, not a whole lot happens. It's all that painful and that Congress can't change.
So let me just get this straight then. Let's say the super committee agrees to this great big debt reduction package. Let's say Congress approves it. You mentioned the future here. Future Congresses couldn't. So a future Congress could come in and just unravel the whole thing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah. I've seen this many times. In the 80s and 90s, they tried this with deficit reduction over and over again, trying to impose cuts that would be automatically triggered later on. They just disappeared somehow. I mean, these things are usually as full of holes as my mom's crocheted blankets, and this one is such a case.
So,
you know, the last time I saw a commission like this or a committee get anything really done that Congress actually passed what they proposed was going back to 1983 with the Social Security reforms, when they raised payroll taxes to make it solvent. Both Reagan and Tip O'Neill, the House Speaker, agreed to that. It was a bipartisan deal. It came out of a commission that Alan Greenspan chaired. That's the last time I remember anything major getting done. 83. Last time I've seen anything major done like this.
So the suspense, it's killing those people who are very into politics and want to know exactly who will these 12 be. Who do you think, or when do you think we'll know who will be seated on the super committee?
Well, I think Will Ryan get on there from the Republicans who propose privatizing Medicare, and the head of the Budget Committee. I imagine a lot of the heads of the big committees on both the Senate and House will be front and center as candidates. So you think Paul Ryan is
a lock?
I think that would aggravate the Democrats to no end and make it harder to get compromise, because he is uncompromising, and he's the poster kid on Capitol Hill for privatizing Medicare, which is the most out there idea I've seen, even though the House passed it. That will cause a lot of friction with Democrats, someone like that. If they each try to appoint some moderates who are compromisers, who are known for it, you know, even John McCain would be an example of somebody who I think in the past has worked across the aisle. That'll tell us a lot about where it's going, who they pick, as you know.
Exactly. Craig Crawford, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Love that Willie Nelson interview yesterday.
Thank you. He was awesome to call in from Missoula, Montana.
That
Craig,
was great.
Thank you.